And it is the Titans picking up their first win, 22-21, and I mentioned it. It was a wild one. We could go in a lot of different directions in that game, but let's start with the positives. Cam Ward and the Titans, a round of applause. That #1 overall pick getting his win. Dame, what'd you think?
I mean, this was an ugly game. It was very sloppy compared to what based on what we just saw with that interception fumble turned to a touchdown. But, you know, I have to give Cam Ward a lot of credit. He took a lot of ownership and a lot of accountability for the way that this team has played so far, especially offensively earlier in the year. And what did he do? He went out and beat a team. And not only did he beat a team, but he came from behind. As you see, they were down 9 points in the final 5 minutes of regulation. That was just a gutsy performance by a young quarterback who's trying to make a name for himself. Got his first win in the win column as a starting quarterback in the NFL. So got to tip my cap to the guy.
Talk about the swing that play was that we just showed by DeMarcado, because that was going to be a runaway situation for the Cardinals, and instead it changes the whole game, Rand.
But that's why we always preach taking care of the football, and you said it during the highlight, the letters and logos. You are taught. And now for Emari DeMarcado, young man, you're going to be on the entire league's Friday tape when it comes around about scenarios and ball security and all of that. And that's just one of those situations where if you're a coach, especially where the league is now in terms of taking care of the football, this is one where all you can do is facepalm and say, like, what do we talk about? And what do we talk about? But that was such a great swing. So congrats to Calvin and Patrice's baby boy Cam for getting his first win and in comeback fashion. And we were talking about it as we were watching. Like, the Titans might come back and win this.
You said it.
Well,
like midway through the third, you said
could feel it. You could feel it.
And when that fumble happened, the interception fumble, that's when you know it's like, oh, it's one of those days.
Sometimes the ball just bounces the other way.
What do you say, logos and
letters and logos?
You should change it to idiots and morons, because that's what they are.
Oh, Peter!
Come on, guys.
Peter!
Come on, guys.
Now, no, hold on. To your point, I would say that was poor. It was a poor learning opportunity for DeMarcado because he just saw what happened.
He doesn't get that. He doesn't get that because we just saw it last week.
Well, no. That's what I'm saying. He did not learn. You can learn from another man's mistakes now, and you can watch somebody on tape and say, "I'm not going to be that guy." But instead, he looked at it and said, "Okay, that was a bad play. Let me go and do one better."
Yeah, no, after what happened last week, how do you allow yourself to do that this week? It makes no sense. That tells you don't pay attention. He's not paying attention. They probably didn't put it up, or
no, it was put up on Friday.
It was.
You think it was?
It was. It's one of two things, Pete Prisco. Either you don't know or you don't care. One or two things.
And that's which is worse. Don't caring is
don't care. And I guarantee you that was a not caring, and not in terms of, oh, I don't care about the team or I don't care about winning or losing, but that lapse of caring in that one split second, that cost them. And I can say 100% definitively that play with A.D. Mitchell last week, that was showed across all 32 NFL teams.
Absolutely.
Okay, here's what I don't understand. When A.D. Mitchell did it, he was putting up to celebrate, drop the ball. Dumb. This guy is just dropping it for the sake of dropping it. Why can't you wait until you run out of the end zone and then drop it? Nobody's ever given me a real reason why guys want to drop it before they go in. What's the point?
Well, I don't think they go in wanting to drop it.
What's the point of dropping it even close to the goal line?
Listen, they're trying to get swag points. They're not worried about what Pete Prisco thinks about them.
That's why I call them idiots and morons.
Flip it and get their swag, and then as soon as the game is over, they want to go see who got a pick of it. And
is there swag? Let me ask you that. Is there swag for dropping the ball?
No, I'm with you right now, Pete Prisco. No, and I was a guy. Listen, I would carry that thing with me until I got to the stands and hand it to a fan, just because I live by a rule, and this different times, different standards. But Burton Burns, my old running back coach at Bama, used to tell us, if you don't get a ball to the official after every time you touch it, you ain't gonna get it again. And it gets you in that type of frame of mind that under no circumstances do you just put the ball on the ground.
Never.
And it's just,
again,
it's swag. You don't know.
See, Rand,
or you don't care. It ain't about swag.
No, I'm going to tell you like this, because I'm just trying to give him an excuse. That's just what
No, we're not going to give him that excuse.
Listen, I didn't score enough in the NFL to flip the ball. I wanted to keep my ball. I wanted to keep my ball.
You wanted the tape on it with the date, the score.
And I have that. And I will tell you this, my first NFL touchdown, I scored. I was the whistle blew. I flipped the ball. And then I was like, oh, where's the ball? I need this. I don't know if I'm going to ever get back. But again, young man, I know you didn't mean to. And I know you didn't intend on costing your team the ball game.
But you did.
You did. but letters and logos. Take the ball into the end zone, letters and logos, hear the whistle, and then do what you want to do. At that point, I don't care. But get the ball in there, have the whistle blown, and at least see the ref with the hands up saying that you scored a touchdown, because that – you don't like to pinpoint one play as to why you lost a football game, but that one play really swung the game, in my opinion.
When
And
you
he had a
hold,
71-yard run. They
when you-
wouldn't be
listen.
talking about it.
when you hold on to the football, when you carry the football, you carry the fate of everybody's families in the organization, everybody's jobs, everybody's livelihood. Remember that, young football players. You are carrying not just the football, the entire weight of the football team, everybody's families, and the wins and losses of the organization.
Dame, I think at some point, man, we're going to have to, you know.
Should we do a tape?
I think we're going to have to do a seminar
let's do a second.
or
Yeah.
something just
We already saw a
'cause
fumble in the
listen,
Bills, two fumbles in the Bills-Patriots game so far.
we ask in combine settings, what type of learner are you? Are you an auditory learner? Are you a learn by doing?
Visual
Are you a
learner.
visual learner? Mm-hmm. We've been talking about it.
We
taking
gotta-
care of ball security. At some point, I think, Damien, we're just going to have to show
I
these
agree.
guys.
Jack,
see it.
Producer Jack, you hear us, Producer Jack? All
wanna see
right.
it. I wanna see that.
Maybe
I
we
wanna
got
see it.
something cooking when it comes to that seminar there. I do want to pivot and talk about Pete's favorite team because the Dolphins went from winning their first game last week. I know this one was on the road last week. The guy who flew the airplane that had to fire Mike McDaniel, fire Chris Greer, he added Tua Tagovailoa's name to it their last home game.
He got too much money.
Right?
that's a
And
story
free
for
time on
another
his
day.
hands.
But when we talk about the head coach, guys, and we've had this conversation, it feels like every single week that we've talked about the Dolphins, is Mike McDaniel on the hot seat. I kind of want to push the story forward here because they're 1-4. They don't have Tyreek. The offense hasn't been spectacular. The defense has been spotty. Pete, when you think about a change in leadership, do you think that that's what this team really needs? And if so, who takes over? Because that's always the question when we talk about firing coaches is it going to make a difference?
Yeah, and here's my belief on firing coaches. I don't think it makes a difference. I really don't. And you know how I felt about Mike McDaniel. I don't think he probably should have come back this year. But the reality is, if you fire him, is it going to make the team better? I mean, Anthony Weaver would be the guy that I think they would make the head coach. And I think he has a message. I love his message when he gets up on the podium, but how's his message to the players? And do they respect him? Do they respond to him? I just don't think it's going to change your outcome this season. It's not. What it does, if you made him the interim head coach, you could find out if maybe he's going to be the full-time head coach. Now, that doesn't always work out well.
Never does.
Never. Well, it has. There's been a couple where it has. But the bottom line is, I don't mind the message if you do make the change. Here's the problem. Anthony Weaver is the defensive coordinator. His defense right now is awful. They can't stop the run. Look at these numbers. Rico Dowdle, go ahead. He's not a star running back by any stretch of the imagination. 206 rushing yards today against that defense. So you're going to fire Mike McDaniel and replace him with the defensive coordinator whose team just got run on again? And that's been a problem all year long. They can't stop the run.
They have 3 coaches on the offensive side of the ball that have had either head coach or interim head coach experience. Eric Studesville, I think he was an interim head coach, I think about 10 years or so ago. And then you have John Embry, the tight end coach, who I know a lot of players respect and revere. He was a head coach at Colorado for a couple years. And so you have that. But in my opinion, and it could be a biased opinion, I worked with Mike and I know Mike really well. Mike has, in the past, he's done some good things in the earlier part of his career with this football team. Now, I know what things have been here recently in this current year, but to me, allow him to finish the season. I think he's earned that right to finish the season because, like Pete said, firing him today, tomorrow, 5 days from now isn't going to change much. Allow him to coach this thing all the way through, and let's see what happens. They don't have Tyreek. Tyreek's not coming back. But in my opinion, this offense at least looks like it's starting to play better because I don't think not having Tyreek obviously is a big loss, but now you're not having to focus on, let me make sure we get Tyreek his 8 targets, and now you can line up and allow the quarterback to just throw to the open man.
It was the Panthers' largest comeback win in team history. They were down 17. They came back to win this one. This was a battle of your Crimson Tide behind center here between Bryce Young and Tua Tagovailoa. What did you think of that matchup, and what did you take away from this game?
Well, I took away from the game that the Miami Dolphins are just in a world of trouble. They're in a world of hurt, and otherwise we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. What I can say is I am very proud of the maturation of Bryce Young and just seeing him continue to develop. Everybody is well, I shouldn't say everybody. People have thrown the talent on him. People have given up on him, whether it's for his height, whether it's because we haven't seen the Bryce magic that we saw at Alabama. But he still consistently shows up and just does his absolute best. Sometimes that's not good enough based on the team and the hand that he's been dealt. But sometimes in a day like today, he's going to come behind. He's going to get you a victory because he doesn't care what people say. He don't care about his size. He just cares about going out and playing football and having that childlike joy again, playing the game that we all love. So kudos to Bryce Young, continuing to just duke it out week in and week out and scrap out wins whenever he can.
Everyone thought that this was going to be a walk-away win for the Dolphins, so shout out to the Panthers there getting it done. If we go from bad to worse, the Jets, man, like we all thought that this was going to be completely different under Aaron Glenn. Instead, we're looking at a Jets squad that is 0-5. The last time a coach performed this poorly to open the season was Adam Gase back in 2020, and we all know how that ended up. Pete, I know you wanted to talk about the coaching specifically here because, again, we were all really excited to see what Aaron Glenn could do with his former team. What's not been working?
Well, they're sloppy. They're one of the sloppiest teams I've seen in a long, long time. They have pre-snap penalties. They don't tackle. I mean, the tackling is horrible. They lead the league in missed tackles, and that's usually a sign of want to. If okay, if you make mistakes, that's okay. If you're not physically good enough, that's okay. If you don't tackle well, that means you don't have the want to and the desire to go out there and do it. And so when I see that, I say penalties, don't have desire to play, and guys are missing tackles all over the place, and guys haven't improved. When you see a coach come in and the team doesn't improve, particularly the defensive side of the ball, he's made his bones on the defensive side of the ball. He was a hell of a defensive player. He was a feisty, tough defensive player. There's nothing feisty or tough about his defense right now, and that's the biggest concern about the Jets.
I thought his biggest, cornerstone piece of this defense was going to be Sauce Gardner, and something that you just said, Pete Prisco, none of these players are getting better. I have not seen Sauce Gardner improve as a corner since he got to the league. I still see bad technique at times. I still see him being handsy, grabbing receivers. And to all of Pete's point, if your number one corner that you just paid a boatload of money to can't cover, well, what does that say? When even your best player has to play well at some point to give you a fighting chance or give you a hope that maybe the talent that you have at least can maybe get you out of some certain situations. But we saw George Pickens take the top off on Sauce Gardner. Kind of like, yeah, go ahead, show Haley. She getting her little,
I was doing my Rand dance from earlier. We're going to talk about the Cowboys in a second, so I'm holding my tongue.
But again, in totality, they look poorly coached. Their best players aren't playing very well. And when coaches aren't coaching well, players aren't playing well, you're 0-5, just like the Jets are.
It's tough. It is tough, especially when you think about the history as well with the Jets. They've been trying to get this playoff situation under control, too. So a lot to monitor.
Well, the other thing is we went into the season thinking we'd have to worry. Maybe Justin Fields can just manage the game because the defense will be so good. They'll be able, and the running game will be good, and they'll be able to sneak their way into the postseason. No, he wasn't awful today. The defense has been awful.
It is tough. I don't feel that bad because, as you saw from my dance, the Dallas Cowboys getting it done. And I know I'm going to sound like a homer when I say this, guys.
You are.
It's all right.
But Dak Prescott, my nose is running here. Dak Prescott is playing at an all-time, I know, I'm sorry,
yes.
Damien, at an all-time caliber level right now. He's got this offense rolling around. Oh, my God. LOL. I'm over here trying not to get my snot out of your But it's hard when you look at the record, you look at this team, and you look at the second half of the schedule. But Dak specifically, guys, how are we feeling? I mean, this is really special stuff from him this year.
I said this the other day when we were on, and I said he's been one of the most underappreciated quarterbacks in this league. 2 years ago, when he was healthy and played the whole season, he led the league in touchdown passes. And yet everybody questions him all the time. He's one of the most scrutinized, questioned quarterbacks in this league, and all he does is go out and make plays. You look at him, 4 touchdown passes today. I mean, he was phenomenal.
And to everyone, Jay Ferguson, the running back, Javonte Williams.
And he's just comfortable. He looks comfortable in the offense. And there, by the way, we're talking about a team that's playing behind a banged-up offensive line. Across the board, they're banged up. So I give him a lot of credit. He's carrying this team right now. And you're right. You look at their schedule. Right now, they're in a little soft lull here. And maybe they can win a couple games and get back into this thing. I think when you look at it, offensively, they're good. Defensively, They're getting better. They had 5 sacks today. 5.
Just like Jerry Jones predicted, huh? They're going to get better on defense.
Well, he's not wrong,
that man.
But
wrong.
what I want to say is, I mean, we can talk ad nauseum about Dak. Like, he's the MVP of the National Football League right now, and I think something that is helping this Cowboys team just as much as Dak Prescott has got to be Javonte Williams. And I've hammered this point. Since he has joined the Cowboys, since he has found a new home, it's like he has unlocked a level of potential that we might not have known that he even had. I mean, another game with 135 yards and a touchdown. And what I love about Javonte Williams isn't just the numbers as far as yards or touchdowns, but it's the amount of carries that he's getting. They trust him. They see him as a workhorse back, and they see him as that guy that can be the steady pace whenever the pass game may or may not be clicking. Obviously, it is right now, but they've got a run game where they can just run at people, direct, downhill, call and run it. They don't have to tag RPOs with it. They don't have to fake here and then throw a bubble out there. They can just line up with Javonte Williams and run right at you and give you body blows throughout
It always
the game.
goes to the running backs for you, too, doesn't it?
I mean, it just makes sense. 'Cause
What, you want me to just keep talking about Dak? Like,
Actually, yeah.
I said he's the MVP. What more do you want? What do you want from me? Huh? What do y'all want from
Talk
me?
about George Pickens also while we're here.
What I was going to say about Javonte was the same thing. He's averaging almost 6 yards a carry. And you talk about that, I think it was the end of the half run where you're just trying to run it out there, and then he pops one for 66, and then you get points to end the half, which allows you to lap. I think they scored 20 points in the second quarter alone, and that really gave them, a big bump. But remind me again why we hate Dak Prescott so much.
Because of the star that's on his helmet.
That's
because
exactly
when
right,
he's
because
healthy
of Jerry Jones.
and he's in the lineup and he's playing, you're going to get 9 to 10 wins. Now, what they do in the postseason.
Well, that's why people criticize him now.
But in order to have a record in the postseason, you have to get there. And there are a ton of quarterbacks that we love and we praise and we give all this credit to that don't get to the postseason. But Dak Prescott, when he's in the lineup, he gets to the postseason, but yet he is the most scrutinized guy that's out there. Now, the one guy I want to talk about who seems to really have found a home for himself within this offense is Jake Ferguson. He is getting the ball. Like, the numbers aren't gaudy, but I think he has 7 catches a day, 2 touchdowns. You go back to last week or a couple weeks ago, we were joking, like, this guy needs some rest. He needs a vet day off because he was thrusting into the line. Felt like he played both sides of the ball and all the snaps on special teams. But this offense has found their way. And like Pete said, they don't have all their offensive linemen and they're mixing, matching guys around. But with Dak back there behind center, it's the calming presence. And again, we talked about it with Tampa when Mike Evans is back, and then you got Chris Godwin back, and then now with Emeka in the lineup, what is that going to look like? I'm interested to see what is it going to look like when CD is back, because now George Pickens is getting rolling, and now Jake Ferguson is going to be a big part of that short to intermediate passing game. Oh, and they finally have a threat to turn around and hand to, and Javonte Williams. What is this offense going to look like when they get all their weapons back?
At Carolina, Washington at home next 2 weeks. I mean, you look at it, they could get to 4-2-1.
Let's be honest.
They come back from the bye and they take on the Raiders.
Right.
The fate of the Cowboys right now, the fate of their season is on this defense.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on the defense. You mentioned Jake Ferguson. The reason why he's playing better, Rand, is because he's getting married. He's got a nice little fiance at the house keeping it in
He
check.
liked it and put a ring on it.
Happy wife, happy life. All right, got to hit a break here on Game Day Recap. When we come back, things not so happy for the Chargers. We gave you a definition last week when it comes to the football team out in LA. We're going to revisit the dictionary and talk about the Chargers when you come back.